Have you ever wondered what hell truly looks like? Not the cartoonish flames and devils we see in pop culture, but a detailed map of eternity, described with such precision that it feels less like imagination and more like revelation? What if I told you that more than 700 years ago, one man dared to journey through its very gates and record everything he saw? That man was Dante Alighieri, and his Divine Comedy is not only one of the greatest works of literature ever written, it might also be the most terrifying guidebook to the afterlife humanity has ever known. And here's the unsettling question. What if Dante wasn't simply inventing a story? What if he was pulling back the veil on something real, something eternal, something that reveals where every soul, including yours, may end up? Tonight, you and I are going to walk through the gates of hell together. We will descend circle by circle, meeting the lost souls, witnessing their punishments, and uncovering the hidden meanings Dante buried in his vision. By the end of this journey, you won't just understand the Inferno, you may see the world, and yourself, in a completely different way. Stay with me until the end, because I promise you, the revelations ahead will shock you, disturb you, and perhaps even awaken you. Each circle of hell hides secrets that most readers never notice. And the deeper we go, the stranger and more mysterious things will become. Let us begin. As Dante opens his Inferno, he finds himself lost in a dark forest. The path of righteousness has vanished, and shadows press in from every side. It's not just a forest, it's a symbol of confusion, sin, and spiritual death. Think about that for a moment. How many of us have been lost in our own forests? Not of trees, but of doubt, fear, and temptation? This is where Dante's journey begins, not in a fiery pit, but in a state of being lost. And just as he begins to despair, he meets a guide, the Roman poet Virgil, sent to lead him on a journey that no living man should ever take. And so, together, they approach the gate of hell. Across its dark arch are words that have echoed through centuries. Abandon all hope, the who enter here. It is a warning, not only to Dante, but to us, the readers, the travelers. Beyond this gate lies a world where every sin is revealed, where justice is unavoidable, and where mercy no longer reaches. But the first realm Dante encounters may surprise you, because it is not yet fire, not yet torment, but the realm known as the vestibule of hell, where the souls of the indecisive wander. These are the people who in life never chose good or evil. They refused to commit, they lived without passion, and now their punishment is eternal futility. Naked, stung by wasps, and chasing endlessly after banners they can never catch, their suffering is not in flames, but in meaninglessness. Here Dante delivers a chilling message. To refuse to choose is itself a choice. To be lukewarm, to be indifferent, is to reject life itself. But the next part is even more unsettling, because from here, Dante passes into the first circle, Limbo. Limbo is not a place of fire or torture, but of longing. It is the home of the virtuous pagan souls who lived noble lives but were never baptized, who never knew Christ. Great philosophers like Plato, Aristotle, and even poets like Homer are here. They live in a castle of light, surrounded by meadows and beauty, yet their suffering lies in exclusion. They will never see God. Imagine that an eternity of almost peace, but with a wall separating you from the ultimate joy. For Dante, this was the fate of even the greatest minds of history. But what comes next shatters the relative calm of Limbo. As Dante and Virgil descend into the second circle, the true horrors of hell begin. Here, in the circle of lust, Dante hears the roaring of a storm. Souls are blown endlessly by fierce winds, unable to rest, tossed about by the very passions that controlled them in life. Among them, Dante meets famous lovers Francesca da Rimini and her forbidden partner Paolo, who tell their tragic tale of love and betrayal. Their story is beautiful, but it is also damning. Here, Dante reveals how even love, if twisted by desire, can become a prison. But the next circle is darker still, for the storm of lust is nothing compared to the endless hunger of the third circle. Gluttony. A cold, filthy rain falls forever here. The souls of the gluttonous lie in mud, surrounded by waste, while the monstrous hound Cerberus claws and tears at them. In life, they consumed without thought, and now they are consumed by their own excess. Dante's vision is a warning against indulgence without purpose, against living only to satisfy appetite. But as disturbing as this is, what comes next reveals an even deeper corruption. The fourth circle, greed. Here, the greedy and the wasteful clash forever, rolling enormous weights against one another in a futile battle. The hoarders scream at the squanderers, and the squanderers scream back, yet neither learns, neither changes. This is the punishment of those who let money rule their lives, those who lived for gold, for possessions, for material gain. But if you think greed is horrifying, wait until you see the next circle, for here, anger and violence boil over into a river of wrath. The fifth circle, wrath, is a place of endless conflict. In the river Styx, the wrathful thrash and tear at one another, locked in eternal battle. But beneath the surface lie the sullen, those who in life suppressed their anger, who refused to speak, who wallowed in bitterness. They are trapped beneath the water, choking on the silence they once embraced. This is one of the most haunting images in the Inferno, that both explosive rage and suppressed bitterness can damn a soul. And just when Dante begins to grasp the nature of sin, he arrives at the walls of a burning city, the city of Dis, where the next horror awaits, heresy. In the sixth circle, Dante sees fiery tombs, each one holding heretics who denied the soul's immortality. Flames consume them, not as punishment for ignorance, but for deliberate rejection of truth. Among them are powerful leaders, philosophers, even churchmen who twisted faith. The heat is unbearable, and yet this is only the beginning of the deeper circles. For beyond heresy lies a landscape that few can even imagine, the realm of violence. The seventh circle is divided into 3 rings: violence against others, violence against self, and violence against God. In the first, murderers and tyrants are submerged in rivers of boiling blood, guarded by centaurs. In the second, suicides are transformed into twisted, thorny trees, their very bodies denied to them, their voices emerging only when broken. And in the third, blasphemers and the violent against nature lie on burning sand as fire rains from the sky. This circle is grotesque, terrifying, and filled with symbolism about the destruction of life, of hope, and of creation itself. But if you think violence is horrifying, wait until you see what comes next, because the eighth circle is a labyrinth of deception. Fraud. The eighth circle of hell, known as Malbolge, is divided into 10 pits, each for a different kind of deceiver. Here we find flatterers drowned in filth, sorcerers twisted and walking backward, hypocrites weighed down by leaden cloaks, thieves transforming into snakes, corrupt politicians boiling in tar, and so much more. This is Dante at his most vivid, his most brutal, exposing the corruptions of society with merciless precision. And yet, even this is not the lowest depth. For the final circle of hell, the 9th circle, is reserved for treachery. At the frozen lake of Cocytus, traitors are trapped in ice. The deeper the betrayal, the deeper the ice. Here Dante encounters betrayers of kin, of country, of guests, and finally of benefactors. At the very center of this frozen pit lies Satan himself, a grotesque giant with 3 faces, endlessly chewing on Judas Iscariot, Brutus, and Cassius, the betrayers of Christ and of Rome. It is a shocking vision. Hell is not fire, but ice. The absence of warmth, of love, of God. And here Dante realizes the worst sin is betrayal. But even here, the journey does not end. Because what lies beyond Satan, what lies at the very bottom of hell, is the beginning of escape. Dante and Virgil will climb, turning upside down, emerging once again into the world above. And that ascent, that hope, leads into the next stage of the Divine Comedy, purgatory. But before we climb with him, ask yourself this: what does Dante's vision of hell reveal about us today? Are these punishments merely metaphors, or are they warnings? What if Dante's map of hell was not just a story of the afterlife, but a mirror of our world right now? In the next part, we will uncover the secrets hidden in each circle of Inferno, the symbolism Dante buried in every detail, and the prophetic messages that reach far beyond the Middle Ages messages that may change how you see sin, justice, and eternity itself. Because the deeper we go into Dante's Inferno, the more we discover that hell is not only below us, it is within us. And the next revelation will uncover a secret very few people know. And now, as we rise back from the depths of Dante's Inferno, let us pause and reflect on what we have witnessed together. We have walked through the gates of hell. We have descended into the 9 circles, and we have seen with our own eyes the terrifying consequences of sin. From the sorrowful cries of Limbo to the eternal ice of treachery, Dante has shown us that every choice, every action, every hidden thought of the human heart carries weight in eternity. This journey is not just a story. It is a mirror. It is a warning. And it is a call to look within ourselves. The truth is, every one of us has stood at the crossroads between light and darkness, between grace and sin. But the good news is this: God's mercy is still within reach. His love is still greater than hell's deepest circle. His forgiveness is stronger than the heaviest chain. So here is my invitation to you, right now. Go to the comments and write your personal confession. Share a short prayer, or testify about what God has done in your life. Because when you write, you are not only speaking into the void, you are speaking life into others who will read your words and find courage in them. You might never know how your prayer will touch another soul, but God knows, and He will use it. And I ask you with urgency, as one who has now seen through Dante's eyes the eternal cost of silence, do not keep this message to yourself. Share this video with at least 10 people, or even more if you can. Send it to friends, family, colleagues, anyone who needs to hear the truth. Because when this video reaches more souls, it is not just content being passed around. It is God's word being carried forward. It is His warning, His teaching, His blessing being spread across the world. Remember, you are not just clicking share. You are helping save lives. You are extending God's blessing beyond yourself. You are planting seeds that will grow into eternal transformation. And when one soul repents, when one heart turns back to God because of something you shared, all of heaven rejoices. So let us be bold. Let us be urgent. Let us be faithful. Write your prayer in the comments. Share this video with at least 10 people. Testify about God's goodness. And together, we will carry the light into the darkness, just as Dante carried his vision of eternity into a world that desperately needed to hear it. Because this is not the end. This is only the beginning. What comes next will reveal even more secrets, more mysteries, and more truths that will shake your soul to the core. And trust me, you will not want to miss what is waiting in the next part of the journey.